It's still in the burgeoning stages of development. Is that a word, burgeoning? I think it is. We're emerging. Like we're all at this point. It's these are what they call the salad days. Where the enthusiasm and the excitement for what we're putting together is it's hardly seems real. Like we're all getting to make things real that were just ideas. You know what I mean? As soon as you come up with an idea, we're now able to just start the ball rolling, and then your friends are helping. This is amazing. I'm really, really excited about where this is going, and I can't wait to start plugging this to people and showing off what we were accomplishing. It's pretty awesome.
It feels great because this version of the company has been something that I've been trying to put together with various incarnations of friends doing various things over the years. Um, some incarnations were like that, like, oh man, we're going to do this one day, and nothing ever panned out. And then other versions of it, like, started but never flourished to anything. And I think that this is so far the best version that I've come up with, with Trent. Like, it started off like Trent and I sitting out on the porch, and we were having a discussion after he moved back to Ohio. And then I was like, I want to start a company. And he had something that he was trying to do with other friends. And then, but at that time, it wasn't really panning out. So it was like we were discussing, like, our overall visions of how a company would function with a group of friends, and wanting it to be some of the most talented and energetic people we know. And so it started off with a few ideas and then flourished, and then we started bringing in people, you know that were already like attached to Trent's original concept, and people that I wanted to bring in that had been attached to previous uh, incarnations of the company. And so we're here today, and it's fun. It's stressful. Um, Anyone starting up a company, I'd probably say, there's a lot of compromise, because sometimes you have a vision and they have a vision, and like especially when it comes to projects that you're trying to develop, and then for anyone out there trying to do that and like getting held up on the fact that you're like, well, that's not what I wanted it to be. Just make both and see how those projects, how entertaining and how much fun those projects can be both ways, and go from there. It's a lot of compromise. It's a lot of hard work. Like sometimes you find yourself, further behind the eight ball than you want to be, and then you find, other things where you're like, wow, that was really easy, and I didn't think that it would move as fast as it does. So for me, this is the version of the company, in long and short, that I always was trying to work towards. They're, yeah, so that.
It doesn't feel like work. The greatest saying I've ever heard was, if you're doing what you love, it's not real. It'll never be work. And I'm having a blast doing it. Now I'm putting in way more hours than I should be, because I'm dead dog tired most nights. But I don't even really notice that the time is passing. We sat here until 11 o'clock last night, and I had to be up at 2 o'clock the next morning, and I didn't even really notice until 2 o'clock yesterday morning, until 2 o'clock this morning, when I had to be back to work. But sitting here, putting the work in, designing this game, we've been putting 6, 7, 8 hours a night in after having already done a full day of work, and I don't even notice. Um, I would love for this to be our full-time thing, and hopefully soon it will be.
Um, I think it's amazing. I know without these guys, I would not have been introduced to Dungeons and Dragons at all. I mean, I've always played table games like any strategy games, but Dungeons and Dragons wise, no. But so far it's really a lot of fun. Like, we're working on a game now, and we sit down and we're working on this game, and it honestly does not feel like 4 or 5 hours have passed. Because you get so into what you're doing. And like I said, Trent's my husband, and we have found a way to work together that works. When we're doing business stuff, we're not husband and wife. We are business partners. And like Curtis and Tim and Bob and CJ, they are all super, super, super cool people. And it's just been amazing. Like, I am having loads and loads of fun. Like, when I come to do this, I have this saying that work is one of those other 4-letter words. And this work is not a 4-letter word. I absolutely love what I do, and I would not have this opportunity without them. And it's just been an amazing road from the very beginning to now and everything else.
Well, running a company in general is a little daunting. I've never run a company before. I've been part of several companies, and luckily, I'm a software developer by trade, and I worked for the same guy for 13 years who happened to be one of my closest friends from Florida. So I've done it before. I think it has its both positives and negatives. The positive thing is that it's great to get together with your friends and do the stuff you love and talk about the things you love and talk about the things that you enjoy together and share that experience. And like, that is awesome. You know what I mean? It doesn't feel like work. There's nothing about it that feels like work. I do think there can be some negatives to it because, there's a saying about not mixing business and friends for a reason. You know what I mean? Like, there's potential that if things go sour or things go south, that you could potentially lose friendships over this kind of stuff. But I don't think that would ever happen with us. I think we are way too close and we have been through way too much stuff together to let something that may or may not go wrong here affect us in that way. As far as what it's like, it's great, man. I mean, I get to sit around with my best friends in the entire universe and talk nerdy stuff and play games and write articles about games and make games. And like, I get to do that every day. You know what I mean? And like, the goal is to get there to where, well, that's all we do all the time. I mean, right now we're doing this because we love it. You know what I mean? But I'd love to get to a point to where this is what we do for our career, and to spend every day with my friends, like nerding out about D&D and video games, I think would be, you can't get much closer to like eternal bliss than that, in my opinion. I don't see how you could ever hate that job. I don't hate my job now. I love what I do, but doing this would be a dream come true by far. Absolutely 100% a dream come true. Like, yeah. Couldn't imagine anything better.